Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. I'm Richard Beck, this is Beck Tools, and I just got my hands on the brand new Artisan 01 from Wizmaker.
And you can see here, this machine will do more than engrave.
The cool thing about this is I am just about to launch a brand new product, the Beck Tools Genesis, which is a really cool knife that I'm working on. It's going to be a production knife. And I cut the first couple knife scales in my MR1, and the problem is it made a big mess, right? MR1 has coolant that is sticky, so when you're cutting plastic and wood, it makes a mess. And I was like really needing a CNC router. And literally, as I'm having this thought, I get an email from the great people at Wizmaker, and they say, hey, would you like to team up and try out our CNC router? And I was like, wow, what are the odds that right now, when I need a CNC router the most, they reach out? So I don't always accept affiliate deals. It doesn't always fit. But this CNC router fits perfect. So I'm really excited to try it out. This is something I really need in my shop right now. And this looks like it would absolutely do exactly what I needed to do. So let's jump into the video. I'm gonna show the build and assembly. Some of you know I'm a professional machine designer. I design industrial automation for my day job, and I've been a professional product designer for 20 years. So I have some experience, and I might look at this a little bit differently than other people. They make an upgraded spindle, more powerful one I might get in the future. So that'll be cool. We're gonna try some stuff. They make a 4th axis for this machine, which I'm pretty pumped about. I don't think that's in the box. That'll be in the future. So, I'm going to start by just kind of analyzing it a little bit. So, I do like this. At 12,000 RPMs, and with a small bit, you can do an amazing amount of stuff. One thing I like, so this MDF board here has actually threaded inserts. I didn't know that was going to have that. It's got this nice MDF board with threaded inserts. Got a user manual. And, I bolt this guy right on here, like that. I mean, that seems pretty obvious. The hardware is in marked packages. Oh, USB. Maybe that has a software. All right, that USB has a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, they give you some end mills. USB connection. This is for the collet. And this is for touching off the Z. Oh, some of the bolts are from one direction and some are from the other. That kind of threw me off for a second. That makes sense, I guess. Probably save some money if they all run one piece. That way you didn't have to thread some of both, but that's fine. Oh, that feels good. Nope, there's no backlash with that. They even give you Allen wrenches. All right, we're gonna stop for a moment and I'm just gonna kind of take it all in. I haven't done that. Overall, I mean, this is pretty beefy, it's pretty rigid. I mean, I don't see a lot of places where you have flex. They have linear rails. Dual linear rails on the top, and the Z. These things are very snug. There's no play at all. The frame has a pretty good size Y-axis, and the bearing is, I mean, got some geometry to give it leverage. It has 12,000 RPMs. I like the color scheme. I like the artwork. I like that this is right here in the front if you want to make adjustments. That's very smooth. You can manually, so yeah, it's got this cool light. These lead screws are plenty big enough for everything we got going on. So let me get back to the build. Right here, we're gonna plug in this motor. We're gonna hook up the X motor. So the easiest way is gonna be to take one of these screws, put it on the Allen wrench, and get one of these up here started. And then we'll get one started down here. I really like that they give you wrenches. I mean, not everybody who's into this kind of thing has a ton of tools. So. All right, everything is plugged in. Okay, so there's 3 different sizes, and I know they're talking about having a bigger motor option, so that's probably what some of these other... All right, I'm gonna quick jump in here and interrupt the video because I was standing in front of the camera the whole time I filmed this assembly. So all that I didn't get originally was putting these 4 bolts in. These are the M6s. This is a symmetrical part, so I don't think it matters if you have the clamping opening on this side or this side. Frankly, that's up to you. The power hooks in right there for the motor, spindle motor. Here's a close-up of these connections back here. These are the screws that you saw me putting in, and then there's some screws right there. Here's your X motor connection, your Y motor connection. So there you go. As far as model number, voltage, you can see it runs 50 or 60 hertz, 300 watts. That's the spindle. There's your work bed, is 400 by 400 millimeters. You know, they went ahead and they've got all these certifications. So, you know, if you're actually in a manufacturing facility and you wanted this in your engineering department, you could do that just for some quick prototyping. How this pendant works. So basically you have X, Y, Z, and A. A is the 4th axis. So if you want to move this thing manually, you simply go to the X and you can go positive or negative, and then the distance you go is adjustable over here. So, and then super small where you can't really see it, but it is moving. So now let's say I want to find the center of this piece of wood. So there's a feature for that. So I turn off this, and now I can control the cursor on the menu. So I now navigate down to menu, I press, and then I go down to center, I press. Now I just have to define the X1, X2, Y1, Y2. So now I'm going to go back to X, and I'm going to physically move this to the edge. I'm going to go down so I can see a little closer. Oops, I keep going the wrong way. So I like to be kind of close so I can see. So now I'm going to get over here to the edge, and I rotate this. And it depends how precise you want to be, you know. So I want to say that is the edge. So now I'm going to turn off this, and I'm going to push in on the button. And you can see it now input the actual location. So now I press one more time to get out of that. I turn on the X, and we're going to go to the other side. Okay, now I'm going to turn this off because I don't want to change the X1 on accident. So I'm going to turn that off to make sure I don't accidentally change that. And now I'm going to rotate the dial right there, X2. I'm going to press in. So now it has that location. Now I have to press one more time to get out of there. And now we're going to go to Y1 coordinate. So let's turn the Y. Okay, so I like that. So I'm gonna turn this off, and then I'm gonna press, and now it's entered that number. So now I'm gonna go to Y2. We're gonna go to the Y control. I'm gonna have to step off camera here because I need to look at it from the side. Okay, so that's good. So now I turn this off, and I'm gonna say, so now you see I have numbers in all the locations. At this point, I'm gonna go down to calculate. I'm gonna press the button. It is now calculated. See over here, it's got a number. So now I go to go to, and the first thing it's gonna do is go to a safe Z position. Once it has its safe Z location, I can then hit go to again, and you'll see it went right to the center of our workpiece. So if you have, like you're engraving a picture and you want to put it on like a cutting board and you want it to be in the center. Oh! I just pile drove that right through the wood. Well, you can see the Z has some power because I just buried that. Crud. Anyways, that's a test piece. I was going to show you guys machining. So our piece that we machine is going to have a hole in the middle. Anyways, oops. So the primary software they use is Candle. Now this software comes with it. They give you a jump drive that has a ton of information. So you can see that when I loaded it, it went ahead and it connected. To load a G-code program, you come over here and you say open, and then they have, I wrote these. This is a warm-up program that I wrote. Sometimes if the shop is really cold and if your grease is too thick, you might need to move the machine back and forth and get it kind of warmed up, or you need to use thinner grease. So I wrote a warm-up program. It's just, it goes from X, it just goes like that, back and forth. I don't need to really do that right now. This is a program here, and I will cut this in this video so you can see. It doesn't just engrave, guys. You can machine things, like full out machine parts. So this is really the most important stuff over here. To home the machine, you hit this button right here. If you want to use the probe to find your depth, you hit this. This zeroes out your XY, so like your G54. This zeroes your Z. If for some reason you get a fault and the machine is like in an alarm state, this button will reset it. For instance, I can generate a fault by basically hitting this button. So see, now the machine is in alarm mode. And really, none of the buttons work now, right? Everything is locked, right? You can't do anything. Or, if you hit reset, now you're free to do whatever you want again. All right, we're gonna machine a part here. And this isn't just gonna be an engraving. We're gonna actually machine a part out of wood. And depending on how long the program is, I might time lapse it, but I don't think I'll have to. This is an 1/8" 2-flute carbide end mill.
200 inches a minute. Oh, if you're wondering how I attach this, I put some clear packing tape and super glued the wood to the packing tape. Then you just pull it off when you're done. It looks like it does fit. Let's check this. Oh, beautiful. Perfect fit. Look at that. There you go. Perfect fit. We're going to machine an aluminum part here. You can see by the looks, this doesn't have any problem machining aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and I've already milled this down because the piece I had was too thick. And so I've got it milled down to size on this machine, by the way. You can see I'm going to go ahead, start the program so you can hear how it runs in real time, unlike edited. And then we're going to switch over to time lapse just to speed things up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pause, and we're gonna switch over to time lapse. Pass done. Now I'm going to go back and I am going to put a ball nose end mill. And we're going to come back to see. Now the reason that program took so long is I did 10 thousandths step down, but a 1,000th fine step. So it did its 10th thou drop, and then it came back and 1,000ths at a time profiled it. So I wouldn't really have to do anything to this. It actually has a pretty smooth finish, but I just want to see how good we can get this. I bought a carbide end mill, ball nose, and we are going to put this thing in. Also, the machine comes with some engraving bits, 2 different sizes, but I just wanted to really push the machine to its limits and do more than engraving. Once again, never leave any extra stick out. That's just going to give you more chatter. Okay, so that's going to be the Z height. Let me go set that. Once again, we will start out here. And then after she gets going a little bit, we will switch over to time lapse. So this is a ball end mill, and I'm doing 1,000th step over. I'm going 5 thou deep. I think this is going to look pretty good. I should engrave Beck Tools on the top. And that sounds amazing. It's cutting really well. All right, let's go ahead and pause and switch over to time lapse. So there it is, guys, the finished part. This is a wrap on the video, so if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video with your friends who are makers, because guys, this is a game changer. For the price of this machine, this thing hits way above its weight class. So I'm happy to have been able to collaborate with Wizmaker and try out the Artisan 01. Make sure you check out the links in the description of this video.
and support the companies that support Beck Tools. That really does go a long way. If you have any questions about this machine, put them in the comments section below. I always answer all my comments, even the angry ones that say I'm stupid. Go ahead. I love engagement. You're helping me out, so leave those comments as well. Anyways, thanks to Wizmaker for supplying this machine. I'm grateful to have it, and I'm going to be making a lot more content because, guys, that's what I do. I make content and I make stuff. And my goal on this channel is to save you time, save you money by trying things out so you don't have to spend your money, therefore reducing your risk of losing your money. So that's always my goal. Before I make a video, my goal is, does this save them time? Does this save them money? Does this reduce their risk? If the answer is no, then I tried, hey, let's not make that video. So thanks for watching. That's all I got.